The Ionian Bible shows the location of 10 special Greek and Hebrew Ionian glossary words to help us better understand God's love for individuals and for all mankind and the nature of afterlife destinies. The underlying Hebrew and Greek words, typically translated as hell, show us that there are not just two afterlife destinies, heaven or hell. Instead, there are a number of different locations, each with different purposes, different durations, and different inhabitants. Locations include 1. Old Testament Sheol and New Testament Hades, 2. Gehenna, 3. Tartaru, 4. The Abyss, 5. The Lake of Fire, 6. Paradise, 7. The New Heavens, and 8. The New Earth. So there is reason to review our conclusions about the destinies of redeemed mankind and fallen angels. The key observation is that fallen angels will be present at the final judgment, 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4, and Jude 6. Traditionally, we understand the separation of the sheep and the goats at the final judgment to mean separating believing from unbelieving mankind in Matthew 25, verse 31 through 46, and also Revelation 20, verse 11 through 15. However, the presence of fallen angels at the final judgment alternatively suggests that Jesus is separating redeemed mankind from the fallen angels. We do know that Jesus is the helper of mankind and not the helper of the devil, according to Hebrews chapter 2. We also know that Jesus has atoned for the sins of all mankind, both believer and unbeliever alike, 1 John chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. Now, certainly, unbelievers are punished in Hades, as the story of Lazarus makes plain in Luke chapter 16, verses 19 to 31. Yet, less commonly known, the punishment of this selfish man and all unbelievers is before the final judgment, is temporal, and is punctuated when Hades is evacuated. Revelation chapter 20, verse 13. So, is there hope beyond Hades for unbelieving mankind? Jesus promised, the gates of Hades will not prevail. Matthew 16:18. Paul also asks, Hades, where is your victory? In 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 55. And John wrote, Hades gives up in Revelation 20, verse 13. Jesus comforts us saying, do not be afraid, because he holds the keys to unlock death and Hades. Revelation chapter 1, verse 18. Yet too often, our good news sounds like a warning to be afraid because Jesus holds the keys to lock Hades. Wow, we have it backwards. Hades will be evacuated. And to guarantee hope, once emptied, Hades is thrown into the lake of fire, never needed again. Revelation chapter 20, verse 14. Finally, we read that anyone whose name is not written in the book of life is thrown into the lake of fire, the second death, with no exit ever mentioned or promised. Revelation chapter 21, verses 1 through 8. So, are those evacuated from Hades then out of the frying pan into the fire? Certainly, the lake of fire is the destiny of the goats, but do not be afraid. Instead, read the Bible's explicit mention of the purpose of the lake of fire and the identity of the goats. In Matthew chapter 25, verse 41, Jesus said, then he will say also to those on the left hand, depart from me, you cursed, into the consummate fire which is prepared for the devil and his angels. Good news for all mankind. Faith is not a pen to write your own name in the book of life. Instead, faith is the glasses to see that the love of Christ for all mankind has already written our names in heaven. Jesus said, you did not choose me, but I chose you. John 15:16. Though unbelievers will suffer regrettable punishment in Hades, redeemed mankind will never enter the lake of fire prepared for the devil and his angels. And as God promised, all mankind will worship Christ together forever. Philippians chapter 2, verses 9 through 11.